Hello there.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel today. It's your boy Ellie Moses today with a review. And I reckon I wasn't going to do this series, but I'm like, yes, What If came out and I really wasn't looking forward to it that much. And I just watched the first episode now. I remember seeing the first trailer vaguely. I didn't watch any other trailers, which was great, I think, because it's just gonna surprise me even more, the show. Even after this episode, I was surprised with what they did, and I think it was pretty tame with what they did. They did a few little twists, and obviously, What If is a new spin on the Marvel Universe in an alternate reality if little adjustments happened in the universe and what the outcomes will be. And I think this episode was a great start. I actually really enjoyed it to get off with. I'm just going to keep this vague and simple, and I think I'm going to make this a weekly occurrence for What If, because I didn't expect it to be that great. And hopefully you guys are enjoying my Marvel attire right here. If you get it, you get it. If you understand the reference, let me know in the comment section down below. What Marvel movie is this from? I love this. Just got it yesterday. I got it for Marvel purposes and because I love the Netherlands jersey as well. But yeah, other than that, we get a new spin today. What if Peggy Carter was the first Avenger? And I think it was a decent episode. The animation is fantastic, but it's Marvel. It's kind of what you would expect with the unlimited budget they have. But I'd like to give a nod to Hayley Atwell for her voice acting in this episode as Peggy Carter, because the thing I found fantastic was, like, she had such energy and charisma to her role, or like to her voice acting, and she was like kind of shocked when she got all these new abilities and she was testing out for the first time. And I'm gonna talk spoilers for a little bit. You have that first sequence where she attacks the Nazi facility and she flips over the truck and she looks and it's in slow motion. She's like, "That was brilliant! Let's go again!" And I was just like, "Oh, that's awesome!" Like, I really enjoyed her energy in this show. And there was one moment in this episode with the Colonel where I was thinking to myself, oh, I know a lot of people are going to jump on the woke train with this episode. And no, it's not woke. Peggy Carter looks the way she does because she's been injected with super soldier serum. You saw what happened to Steve Rogers, who was basically a twig. He turned into a freaking, like, Arnold-like bodybuilder. Like, he went full beast mode. And obviously it's gonna do the same to a woman. And you have the Colonel in this episode, and I thought to myself straight away, I'm like, oh, I don't know how they delivered that. But then I rethought, I'm like, okay, for the time being, it makes sense he made the comments he did with talking about women not serving on the front line, because traditionally in World War II, men fought on the front line. Like, it makes sense. It does make sense. And it made sense he made those comments, but then obviously Peggy proved him wrong. And then there was like a little nod or like little twist in his character towards the end of the episode when he's like, when it's montaging through it, similar to the first Avenger, where he's like, "Yes, Mr. President, I gave the go ahead for Peggy Carter to have the super soldier serum." And what I did like about this episode as well is that Steve Rogers is not sidelined. He is actually given a role, because they, with the twists and turns they have on the universe, and with the Watcher himself watching the events that happen, obviously he can't intervene. And Jeffrey Wright is fantastic in his voice acting as the Watcher. I love Jeffrey Wright. He needs to be in more stuff, man. But as well, with the little twists and events that happen, they get the Tesseract early, and with the Tesseract, Howard Stark is able to build the Hydra Stomper, and with the Hydra Stomper, Steve Rogers is able to control it. And yes, he is given a lot to do in this episode as well. He is not sidelined. In fact, him and Peggy Carter have some fantastic team moments, and yes, the dance element is still there. You know, you still owe me a dance. And then as well, at the end of the episode, we have the calamari-like creature, which that's what Bucky calls us. I'm going to call it the calamari-like creature, which Red Skull unleashed, the interdimensional being. Once Peggy defeats it and goes back into the portal, the little twist at the end is that in the 2012 Avengers, when the Tesseract portal is open, she comes through it instead of Loki. And that's why Nick Fury and Hawkeye, I almost forgot his actual name for a second, is like, "Oh, yo, the war ended 70 years ago." When she's like, "What happened? Where's Steve Rogers?" And she's like, "Oh, damn." And it ended right there. So I'm intrigued to see what they do with the next episode. And it was a great episode. I had such fun with it. I had a blast. And yes, people do die in it. Like, they do die. And yes, they do die in clever ways. Obviously, there's not blood shown, but people killed off in sort of shadow element, like with a shadow effect or like a shadow on the wall. But people do get shot straight out as well. Like, people do die. It does not hold back. Like, people are shot, people are murdered brutally as well, but not brutally, but you understand, like, they are dying. But yeah, I think it was a great introduction, fantastic first episode. The animation is kick-ass. Hayley Atwell's voice acting was fantastic as Peggy Carter. Like, I gotta give a shout out to that. She was great. Her energy was fantastic. And yes, they do maintain the romance with her and Steve Rogers, but they do not downgrade Steve Rogers or like sort of belittle him in this episode. He does get to be in the Hydra Stomper suit and does get to kick his own ass as well. And at 33 minutes, the episode runs at a brisk pace. I'm kind of used to it with the Clone Wars episodes and the Bad Batch, so I found this I'm kind of used to this runtime, and it's refreshing for a Marvel show as well, with like Loki being 40 minutes and then the movies being like 2 hours. So it's kind of refreshing to see Marvel have like a nice quick episodes, and this one got the job done, and I really enjoyed it. I can't have nothing else to say. But as always, guys, tune in for next week. Do you want me to do it next week again? Because I really dug this episode, and I'm interested to see what neat spins they put on it. And I know other voice actors are returning as well. Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, my dude, is returning as T'Challa, which is great. But I'm going to stay away from any more trailers or anything apart from the first one, which I saw months and months ago. And I want to surprise myself with this show. And this episode did surprise me, and I think you guys will enjoy it as well. But as always, guys, being your boy Ellie Moses, take care, God bless, and peace.